Today, we will explain about antibody-mediated hypersensitivity.
First, hypersensitivity refers to unwanted reactions triggered by the immune system. Allergy and autoimmune diseases are the most common examples. Hypersensitivity is then classified into four types, types 1 to 4. This is called the Gale and Coombs classification. Generally, antibody-mediated hypersensitivity refers to type 2.
The mechanism of type 2 hypersensitivity is described below. The general flow of the type 2 reaction is as follows. Unwanted antibodies activate complement or cytotoxic T cells. Next, injuring one's own cells or tissues.
The antibodies here are IgG and IgM. These two classes of antibodies have in common that they involve activation of the classical pathway of complement. The classical pathway of complement has already been explained in the lecture on complement.
The pathway that activates complement is described as follows. 1. Antibodies bind to the target cell. 2. Complement activation. 3. Immunolysis. Next, the pathway that activates cytotoxic T cells is described as follows. 1. IgG or IgM binds to the target cell. 2. Antibody binds to the cytotoxic T cell that has a receptor corresponding to the Fc portion of the antibodies. 3. The cytotoxic T cells release perforin and destroys the target cell.
So, what are the differences in disease due to the nature of the antibodies? Two cases are assumed here: autoantibodies and antibodies to external antigens. Autoimmune hemolytic anemia is an example of cellular injury caused by autoantibodies. In this disease, 1. Autoantibodies are produced against the membrane of autologous erythrocytes. 2. Antibodies bind to erythrocytes and other autologous cells and activate complement. 3. Hemolysis occurs. Ultimately, it leads to anemia and splenomegaly. Other cellular disorders caused by autoantibodies include Goodpasture syndrome, myasthenia gravis, etc.
The following section describes cytotoxicity caused by antibodies to foreign antigens. An example is ABO incompatible blood transfusion. For instance, a person with type A has A antigen and anti-B antibodies. Therefore, a transfusion of type A recipient with type B erythrocytes will cause hemolysis. This is a typical example of type 2 hypersensitivity. Finally, let us summarize the main point of this presentation. Antibody-mediated hypersensitivity is a type of hypersensitivity caused by an overreaction of the immune system and generally refers to type 2 hypersensitivity. The mechanism is essentially cellular or tissue damage due to activation of complement or cytotoxic T cells by unwanted antibodies.